On day 1, I was a dragon god ruling over my 1 million followers. Nobody can withstand my might! Suddenly, my followers all turned on me and started attacking. I tried to make them stop, but they wouldn't listen to me anymore. What's going on? Obey me!
No way! We only follow the Shadow God now!
Just then, the Shadow God emerged before me.
I have influenced your people to obey me now. They no longer believe in you.
We'll see about that! We both flew outside, where I was ready to remind my people why I am their ruler. I used my immense power to fly around my challenger at blinding speed, trying to confuse him. I blew my fire, but his shadowy breath attacks pulled me closer, draining my energy. I tried to outmaneuver him, but he hit me with beams of power that seared my wings. Finally, the fight came to a head, and we used our breath powers against each other. Fire versus frost. But somehow, his frozen breath overpowered mine. Despite my efforts, the Shadow God was too powerful. He struck me down, reverting me back to a demigod. I only had 10 hearts.
Get him, men!
My former followers all came after me. I had no choice but to make a run for it. On day 2, I was being chased by the Shadow God's men. Maybe you need a reminder that I'm your leader. I tried to use my godly powers to assert my authority, but I was only able to shoot fire. Oh no! Since they don't believe in me, I've lost my powers. I was no match for the army anymore, so I took to the skies and flew away with my wings. I managed to narrowly escape and found a safe spot to catch my breath. A god is nothing without his followers. If I'm gonna get strong again, I need more mobs to believe in me. Just then, I heard someone crying for help. I swooped in to see what the yelling was about and realized that a little coin dragon was being attacked by a bigger mob. Don't worry, I'm coming! I jumped into the fray and began to fight off the beast. Although I only had my fire breath, I was still a demigod, meaning I was stronger than other mobs. I swiped at the hellhound with my claws, but he snapped me quickly with his bite. I blew a wave of fire, slowing him down briefly as he charged. He couldn't take the heat. On day 1, I was a dragon god ruling over my 1 million followers. Nobody can withstand my might! Suddenly, my followers all turned on me and started attacking. I tried to make them stop, but they wouldn't listen to me anymore. What's going on? Obey me!
No way! We only follow the Shadow God now!
Just then, the Shadow God emerged before me.
I have influenced your people to obey me now. They no longer believe in you.
We'll see about that! We both flew outside, where I was ready to remind my people why I am their ruler. I used my immense power to fly around my challenger at blinding speed, trying to confuse him. I blew my fire, but his shadowy breath attacks pulled me closer, draining my energy. I tried to outmaneuver him, but he hit me with beams of power that seared my wings. Finally, the fight came to a head, and we used our breath powers against each other. Fire versus frost. But somehow, his frozen breath overpowered mine. Despite my efforts, the Shadow God was too powerful. He struck me down, reverting me back to a demigod. I only had 10 hearts.
Get him, men!
My former followers all came after me. I had no choice but to make a run for it. On day 2, I was being chased by the Shadow God's men. Maybe you need a reminder that I'm your leader. I tried to use my godly powers to assert my authority, but I was only able to shoot fire. Oh no! Since they don't believe in me, I've lost my powers. I was no match for the army anymore, so I took to the skies and flew away with my wings. I managed to narrowly escape and found a safe spot to catch my breath. A god is nothing without his followers. If I'm gonna get strong again, I need more mobs to believe in me. Just then, I heard someone crying for help. I swooped in to see what the yelling was about and realized that a little coin dragon was being attacked by a bigger mob. Don't worry, I'm coming! I jumped into the fray and began to fight off the beast. Although I only had my fire breath, I was still a demigod, meaning I was stronger than other mobs. I swiped at the hellhound with my claws, but he snapped me quickly with his bite. I blew a wave of fire, slowing him down briefly as he charged. He couldn't take the heat. After a tough fight, I took down the beast and saved the little mob.
Well, thank you, great dragon god! I am in your debt!
Don't worry, I'm always looking out for my subjects.
Well, consider me one of your followers then. I'm Zip!
I felt a tingling sensation in my chest like I was a step closer to regaining my strength. I'll have to befriend all of the kingdoms if I want to increase my followers. On day 3, Zip and I both set off to find a spot to start our new civilization. I started by building a structure on a cloud in the sky. I made sure it was made of quartz and embellished with accents of gold to represent my status as a god. Once I was finished, I moved on to the surface beneath the cloud and started building a house for Zip. I planned to one day have a massive village below me to house all of my people. The Shadow God better watch out! After completing my build, I needed to find some food for Zip and I, so I took to the skies in search of some grub. I spotted a village and landed to ask them for some assistance. Hello, I command thee to give me an offering of wheat seeds.
Ha! Why would I do that for a wimpy little demigod?
You'll regret that, villager. I will smite thee. I honed in all of my powers and the sky began to grow dark. I was a kind god, but I wasn't afraid to show people what happened when they disrespected me. Die!
Oh, is that it? Kinda feel bad for you now.
The villager handed me some food out of pity. Ugh. Mark my words, when my powers return, you will fear me! I took to the skies and noticed one of the Shadow God's followers walking by. I wonder where they're headed. On days 4 through 7, I followed the goon into a chicken village. Whoa, it's like a KFC. Multiple of them were in the center of the village, worshipping Barako the sun god. Is that shadow follower planning on taking their followers too? I gotta warn them! I rushed inside of the village and quickly found a shadow goon hiding under Barako's altar. Stop right there! Without thinking, I began to attack the mob. Unluckily for me, they were quick on their feet.
Stop this demigod! He's jealous of Barako's power!
No! I'm trying to help! This guy is evil!
He's trying to disgrace Barako. Get him!
The followers didn't care what I said and attacked me anyway. I wanted them to join my cause, so the last thing I planned to do was fight back. I ran around trying to avoid their attacks. When this became too difficult, I flew up into the air. Once I was airborne, I noticed the shadow follower running away. Hey, stop! On days 8 through 10, I pursued the shadow follower. They were fast, but my wings allowed me to easily keep up. After a lot of traveling, I followed them into a nearby cave. Once inside, they quickly reached a dead end. I'm gonna reveal your true intentions to everyone.
Yeah, right. They'd never believe you.
Then I'll just have to stop you right now.
Oh yeah? Catch!
The follower tossed over a cooked chicken, which I instinctively picked up. Huh? Before I had any time to react, Barako's followers caught up to us.
He's eating our people! Oh, Barako, please save us!
Without hesitation, the mystical Barako yelled from outside the cave.
You will leave my people alone! Hurrah!
On days 11 through 14, I came out to face Barako, who came at me with the might of a sun god. Barako yelled a deafening cry, and streams of sunlight started to explode around me. The hot sand made the fight difficult, so I decided to even the odds with my flame breath. He summoned his minions and they began attacking me and healing him. Hey, not fair! I dive bombed right into his belly, but he bounced me right off. He used the power of the sun to create a blast of heat, scorching the area. He was powerful, but I couldn't call myself a god if I lost here. I had to use all of my strength to take down Barako.
You're stronger than you look, but I will fight to the death!
No, please! This is all a misunderstanding! Just then, I spotted the shadow follower sneaking up behind Barako. He was going to land a secret killing blow. Look out! I used my abilities to kill the shadow follower where he stood. Everyone celebrated the safety of their leader, and one of the chickens walked up to me.
Oh my gosh! That dragon saved our god!
I see now you were telling the truth. Thank you.
Really? Awesome! Suddenly, I felt a new power surge within me. My strength increased, my scales hardened, and I grew in size. I now had 8 additional hearts and the power to hurl fireballs. I was an adult dragon god. I finally have more followers. I'm one step closer to taking out the shadow god. On days 15 through 17, I returned to my base with some of my new chicken followers. I began to do some expanding to the village and built additional housing for all of my new chicken followers to stay in. I also made them an altar so they could continue to worship Barako as well as myself. Let's share the love! I let the chickens get settled in and flew up to my sky base for some more expansions. I added a royal nest fit with a table in the center to discuss my future plans, and a luxurious landing pad. My little cloud fortress was starting to look like home. Finally, I added a farm to my civilization so we had plenty of food for all of my subjects. As I cultivated my crops, I remembered the villager that mocked me a few days earlier. Time to pay them a little visit. I returned to the village and spotted the villager from the sky above. Hello there! I'm back to smite you!
Oh, you're big.
Taste my wrath! In a fit of rage, I threw a fireball at the villager.
Okay, you're cool. I'm sorry.
That's what I thought!
We're sorry for mocking you. Our village is willing to move in and serve you.
That sounds good to me. I brought the villagers back to my base and got them settled in some houses of their own.
This is almost better than our old home.
Almost?
Well, the people of the north are playing their music way too loud.
Don't worry, I'll go check it out for you. On days 18 through 21, I went to investigate the source of the music. When I arrived, I spotted a town of scary-looking monsters.
Oi, who's this guy?
The Dragon God. Turn your music down.
Well, the only way we'll do that is if you beat us.
In combat?
No, a dance-off.
We moved to the dance floor where all the monsters were showing off their dance moves. The monsters each had their own set of crazy moves. I watched as they spun around and showed me everything they had.
Beat that.
Oh yeah? I did my signature spinning move and began to breakdance on the floor. I wasn't only a god, but I was also an amazing dancer.
Yo!
Whoa.
Once I was done, it was clear that I was the winner of the dance-off.
Those moves rock. You're a cool god. Consider us your followers.
Just then, I gained 2 more hearts. Nice. Oh, and lower that music, please. With my quest completed, I took to the skies to start searching for more followers. As I scouted, I discovered a wooden beam that was poking out of the ocean. What's that? On days 22 through 25, I landed at the shore of the ocean to prepare for my journey. Dragons can't breathe underwater. Good thing I'm a god. I used my godly abilities to transform into an entirely different type of dragon. My lungs turned into gills and I gained some fins to help me navigate the ocean. I was now a water dragon. I hopped into the water and swam towards the wooden structure. When I arrived, I discovered it was a shipwreck that was housing a civilization of dolphins, but they didn't seem to be doing well. They look hungry. I wonder what happened. Suddenly, a dolphin came barreling towards me.
Give me your food, or else.
What? They began to attack me with everything they had. Before I could blast them off, though, the dolphin's leader arrived.
Enough!
The troublesome dolphin swam off, leaving me alone with the leader. What was that about?
I'm sorry, mighty god. My people are starving, and our goddess is nowhere to be seen.
I can help you find her.
If you manage to do so, then we would be honored to follow you too. Please take this map to her temple, but be warned, the journey is a treacherous one.
You can count on me. On days 26 through 28, I began to follow the map I got from the dolphin leader, when out of nowhere, a trident nearly hit me. I looked around and discovered a group of drowned were attacking me. I'll make you pay for that! The drowned began to swarm, throwing tridents, but they were no match for my reawakened lightning powers. The electricity surged through them in the water, totally obliterating them. Their metal tridents worked against them, conducting more electricity and frying them to a crisp. It didn't take long for the mobs to succumb to my crushing powers. Normal mobs don't stand a chance against a god. I kept moving until finally arriving at the temple, but it seemed as if nobody was around. Just then, another trident flew by me. To my surprise, it wasn't from a drowned, but a trident tyrant. Get back here! I chased after them as quickly as I could, but as I turned a corner, I was face to face with the sea goddess instead. Oh, thank goodness! I found you! You okay? The sea goddess attacked me with her massive jaws. I did my best to avoid the sea goddess's onslaught. I wasn't sure what had come over her. She's not acting like herself. Something is wrong. Each snap from her jaws did massive damage. I had no choice but to fight for my life. The goddess chomped into me relentlessly. I tried to keep her at bay with my lightning, but she brushed it off like it was nothing. I tried using my spin attack, but she dodged narrowly. My thunder strikes only slowed her down for a second before she came right back at me with full force. Despite my efforts, she was far more powerful than the others I had faced. I wasn't gonna win. Just then, I spotted the Trident Tyrant looming in a hiding spot. What are you doing here?
Drat, the Shadow God will be angry with me.
Did you say Shadow God? You're going down! I knew he was up to no good, so I changed my approach. I attacked the Trident Tyrant and managed to take him out. Just after the tyrant fell, the sea goddess snapped out of her rage.
What happened?
That entity must have been influencing you. Your people need help.
Say no more.
We returned to the dolphin village and the sun goddess gave all of her followers the miracle of food.
Thank you, Dragon God. We will follow you loyally.
Suddenly, I began to transform. I gained 10 more hearts. Thank you all for your support. I'll make sure the Shadow God pays for this. On days 33 through 35, I returned to the shore and transformed back into my land form. To my surprise, I had a new appearance. I look a bit different now. It must be because of my new dolphin followers. I flew back to the base and decided to get to work on some areas for my new subjects. I dug out a lake and added some waterfalls to give it an aquatic feeling. To round out the dolphins area, I added a shrine to the sea goddess so they could worship her as well. After I was done with this, I built an altar for my followers to present me offerings. To my surprise, they were all eager to hand me what they had.
Here you go.
Thanks!
For you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Now this is an offering! I put on the armor and instantly felt more powerful than before. No one would dare defy me now! Just then, I spotted one of my other villagers wandering away from the base. He looks like he's up to no good. I tailed behind my follower to discover he was headed towards a Shadow God temple. What business does he have with that guy? I found a hiding spot and watched as he approached my nemesis.
Do you have any new intel for me?
Yes, the dolphins just joined up with the Dragon God.
How unfortunate. Oh well, he doesn't stand a chance against me.
I stepped out to intimidate them. Stop right there!
Fool! You led him right to me!
The Shadow God struck down the traitor, then lunged at me. The Shadow God breathed his powerful frost breath at me, trying to freeze me midair. I retaliated with my flame breath and fire bolts to keep things nice and toasty. When he realized my flames were too hot, the god fired beams of light at me as well as dark matter to try and end me right then and there. We soared through the skies, dodging and weaving each other's attacks, but even I couldn't avoid all of his moves. Whenever he managed to hit me, it dealt loads of damage. Despite my growing numbers, I still wasn't strong enough to defeat the Shadow God.
You're not the only one gaining new followers. Stay in your place, demigod.
He took off to the skies, and I swore revenge. I need to befriend the remaining kingdoms before he gets even stronger. On days 40 through 43, I knew that the Shadow God's power was spiraling out of control. I need to reach out to subjects beyond just the overworld. I built myself a nether portal and traveled inside. When I arrived in the nether, I was suddenly bombarded with tons of mobs. The Strider military was waiting for me.
Begone! Nobody else is hurting our village!
What happened?
A horrible god came and destroyed our home!
Then I'll take care of this. I began to fly around the nether in search of the angry god. After a while, I managed to find him holed up in a golden cave. Your rampage ends here!
You're just a demigod. Don't make me laugh.
The god unleashed his fiery breath and blasted me out of the cavern. Ow! I'm gonna have to get stronger and put him in his place! On days 44 through 46, I returned to the Striders and told them what had happened.
If it's true you will help eliminate the beast, then we will put our trust in you.
I began to train up with the Striders. They had me undergo numerous tests, including flying through rings. All of it was a piece of cake for me. I managed to only gain 2 more hearts. I guess since I'm a god, traditional training doesn't work as well.
Gain more followers then. The piglin are in the Bastion Remnant.
I did as I was told and flew over to the piglins. I touched down over their civilization and demanded their loyalty. Hello, mortals. Bow to your new god.
Do you have some gold? We don't take kindly to goldless deities.
Oh, one sec. I quickly struck down one of the bystanders and he dropped a gold ingot. How about that?
Good enough.
I now had the power of the piglins on my side. With my big boost in followers, I transformed, changing my dragon scales into a red, lava-resistant form and even gained 10 more hearts. That did the trick! Time to take out the Nether God! On days 47 through 50, I confronted the nasty Nether God once again. Come out and face me! The Nether God emerged from his den and looked down onto me.
Looks like you have more followers, but not as much as me.
We'll see about that. The Nether God's blue fire was super hot. The ceiling was low and the lava was crazy hot as well. I had to be careful not to fall in. I struck him with my cobalt sword, dealing massive damage. The battle was fierce and the heat was intense. Heat kept flying over me, making it hard to land any clean hits. I felt like I was flying in circles. I knew I couldn't keep this up, so I touched back down into the cave to fight on even footing. The Nether God landed inside and began to slash at me with his powerful claws. Each hit he managed to land did loads of damage, so I retaliated with my fire breath. We breathed flames at each other, but thanks to my latest transformation, my scales were fireproof. I used my armored body to my advantage and overwhelmed the god with my attacks. The followers gave me the strength I needed to overcome the nether god. I had him cowering in his cave.
I yield! You're too powerful. Have mercy on me.
Only if you promise to give the Striders their home back in my name.
Yes, of course. I needed the lava to forge my gold. It's only fair if I restore it.
Good. Got anything cool that I can use to beat the Shadow God?
You're going against the Shadow God? You're crazy. But since you were able to take me down, it might be possible.
The Nether God gave me the royal red leggings and boots. I put it on and felt like I could take on the world. I look sick! I flew back to the Striders and told them the good news. They were all overjoyed.
Thank you, Dragon God. You have our undying support.
The Shadow God better watch out now! On days 51 through 54, I returned to my home in the overworld and started expansion of my base to house my new followers. I carved out a small cave protected from the sun and filled it with lava so my Strider crew could feel right at home. I opened a nether portal for them so they could travel back and forth between the worlds, and even gave them a shrine to the Nether God, since he was the one still keeping the Nether warm. In the center of town, I added a message box so that any of my followers could submit requests for anything they needed. Lastly, I did some renovation of my own cloud base, adding more motes of gold. I even started my own hoard of treasure. After the building was done, I checked my town's message box to see what kind of requests my followers had. Dear Dragon God, we need more food. The fields are dry. No sweat. This'll be easy. I headed to the farm plot and re-sowed the fields with wheat. Now it's time for some water. I used my godly powers to perform a miracle. I summoned rain, causing the seeds to spring to life, and the wheat grew instantly. My followers cheered and rang out with applause. Let's go! Thank you, thank you! You're all too kind.
Wow, Dragon God, you're amazing!
Zip, we're buddies. You can just call me Max.
Okay.
So, how's it going? Do you have any requests, follower number 1?
Actually, I do. Not for me, but for my friend Spyro who needs some help looking for gems.
Gems? Like treasure gems?
Yeah, he's a natural treasure hunter. He's been everywhere looking for treasure, even the end.
The end? Hey, I need to go there too. Maybe if I help him out, he can help me find a portal. Okay, Zip. I'll help your friend Spyro out.
Yay!
On days 55 through 57, I flew around looking for Spyro. Zip gave me a good idea as to where he might be. As I flew overhead, I saw a small purple dragon digging holes in a Badlands biome. Hey, are you Spyro?
That's me.
My friend Zip said you needed help looking for gems?
Yep, magic gems. That'll get me home. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not from around here.
Yeah, you are pretty small for a dragon.
What did you say?
Nothing. So if I help you find these gems, do you think you can help me out?
Sure thing. Whatever you need.
Spyro and I dug around in the Badlands for a while. Just as I was ready to give up, a hole opened up underneath us and we fell through. We landed in a cavern, and when we looked around, there were diamonds everywhere.
Jackpot! This is more than enough. Let's grab them.
These are diamonds, Spyro, not gems.
Just grab them. This is what we need.
I started to mine one of the diamonds, but when I did, a bunch of gem monsters emerged from behind us.
Oh no, gem monsters. Come on, let's take them down. These gems are ours.
Spyro and I fought the gem monsters together. The gem monsters were strong, but our fire was hot enough to make them molten. They may have thought they had strength in numbers, but I had strength in followers. Spyro's height worked to his advantage as he bit and slashed at the ankles of the monsters. With my last breath of flames, I melted the monsters into a fiery puddle. After a hard battle, we took down the gem monsters and claimed our prize.
Wow! These gem monsters have even more gems! Thanks for the help, stranger. Now, what can I help you with?
Do you know where I can find an ender portal?
An ender portal? Like spacey looking one?
Yeah, that's the one.
I remember where that is. Follow me.
Spyro took his bag of gems and left the cavern. On days 58 through 61, I arrived at the end portal with Spyro.
Here it is. I gotta go now, but good luck with your journey to becoming the Dragon God again.
Thanks, Spyro. See ya! After saying goodbye to Spyro, I jumped through the portal and made it to the end city. But to my surprise, the whole place was on fire. What's going on? Just then, the Ender Dragon flew over my head.
Hear me now, subjects! You are now not only under my rule, but the Shadow Gods as well. Kneel before my double power!
Oh no! I gotta help these Endermen evacuate the city! The Ender Dragon's gone mad! The Ender Dragon was too busy destroying the area to notice me gathering all the Endermen to a secure location. Come on, this way! I'm taking you to a safe spot! Just as I got the last of the Endermen to safety, the Ender Dragon spotted me.
Those are my followers, fool! Stop right there!
The Ender Dragon charged right at me. I had to give the Enderman more time to escape, so I charged right back at her. On days 62 through 64, I battled the Ender Dragon to save the Enderman. We both took to the skies to test our godly strength. We were similarly matched, but he managed to outmatch my power with devastating flame breath. I fought it out as long as I could, but I quickly realized I wasn't going to win this one. Despite my new strength, I was too weak to continue. I had no choice but to run.
Get back here, coward!
I managed to escape and hide in the cave with the Enderman.
Hey, you saved us. We want to take out the Ender Dragon. He's been an evil tyrant even before teaming up with the Shadow God. Can you help us out?
Of course! With all your guys' help, that should give me enough strength to take him down. The Enderman gave me a list of items to gather to better equip them for battle. Ender carrots, chorus fruit, and end rods. Okay, I'll go find these and be right back. I started out searching for ender carrots. Farther from the city, I stumbled upon an end farmer. Hey farmer, do you happen to have any end carrots? We're gonna overthrow the Ender Dragon.
Overthrow the Ender Dragon? That's great! She stinks anyway. Here you go.
Just like that, the farmer dropped me tons of ender carrots for the cause. Thanks a bunch. I'll put these to good use. Next, I went around chopping down chorus trees, trying to get as many as possible. Lastly, I needed some end rods, so I snuck back into the city buildings to collect some. The fire was dangerous, but I made it through safely. I returned to the Endermen and gave them everything they asked for.
This is perfect. The Ender Dragon won't know what hit him.
As thanks, the Enderman gave me a new piece of armor to add to my set. Cool! This will definitely aid me in battle.
We made it as an offering to placate the Ender Dragon, but he laughed in our faces when we showed it to him. It's better you have it.
I'll put it to good use. On days 65 through 68, I arrived with my Ender army at the Ender Dragon's lair. It wasn't long before the oversized lizard spotted us.
What's this? A rebellion?
That's right! I'm gonna take you down!
I'd like to see you try.
The two of us charged in head-on and began to fight it out. I took to the skies and battled the Ender Dragon from above. My army of Endermen stayed close by and shot projectiles from the ground. I used my Dragon Breath and my Blue Geode Sword to dwindle down his health. He then retaliated by using fire attacks of his own. His flames were so powerful that they dealt damage over time, bringing me close to death. I couldn't let the Enderman down, so I kept fighting with all of my might. Despite our efforts, the Ender Dragon continued to regenerate health from the pillars. We were gonna lose at this rate. I had to change my approach. So while my Enderman army had the Ender Dragon distracted, I flew to the pillars and destroyed every crystal with my fire attacks. Soon, they were all blown to smithereens, and the Ender Dragon and I were on a level playing field. I returned to the battle and used everything I had to finish off the beast. After one final blow, I took down the corrupt leader and liberated the Endermen from their tyranny.
We might have defeated the evil Ender Dragon, but our home is destroyed. Where will we go?
You can all stay with me in my base. I can keep you safe from the Shadow God there.
That sounds great. We will follow you, O great dragon god.
The new influx of followers caused me to gain even more strength. Mine underwent a transformation, turning me into a shadowy purple color like an Enderman. I tested out my new power and realized my flames had grown so hot they were now purple. One step closer to defeating the Shadow God. On days 69 through 72, I made the trip back to the overworld with all of my new followers. I began expanding the base, starting with the tower fit for the Enderman people. Now they have a great view of the village and the overworld. I also built an altar to commemorate the fight against the Ender Dragon. My base needed some more godly touches, so I added another layer on top with a few stairs surrounding my sky build. Suddenly, I heard a scream from below. What's going on down there? I swooped down to meet face to face with the Shadow God. I had to protect my people.
So, you've killed the Ender Dragon and taken the Enderman under your wing too. Unacceptable.
These people have agreed to follow me. Leave now or face the consequences.
I'll leave, but not without taking a few of your followers first.
The Shadow God turned to a crowd of my followers, and with his power made them all sink into the ground. Hey, what did you do?
Your followers are now mine. Good luck getting them back.
The Shadow God flew away, and I immediately gave chase. On days 73 through 75, I soared through the sky as fast as I could to chase the Shadow God. Without warning, he turned around and shot a shadowy sphere at me. It hit me dead on and took away my wings. Ah! Lucky for me, I had the water below to cushion my fall. Phew, that was close. How did he do that? I couldn't stop now. Even without my wings, I was determined to find my stolen followers. They needed my help. As I swam ashore, an armored knight stopped me in my tracks.
Ah, a dragon. You will be a great addition to the feast.
Feast? I'm a god! You should be bowing before me!
Ah, sure. You don't even have wings. You're barely a dragon at all. Prepare to be dinner.
The knight slashed at me with his powerful sword and tried to take me down quickly. Unfortunately for him, I was wearing full armor, which protected me from his attacks. I slashed back with my own geode blade. The sound of our weapons clashing filled the battlefield, but his heavy armor also protected him from my attacks. I decided to use my new Ender Flames to melt through his defenses by force. In combination with my other fire attacks, I weakened the knight bit by bit. After a while, I saw an opening in his armor and breathed my fiery breath once more. He could no longer withstand my attacks and began to crumble to my power as a god. I took out the overconfident knight easily. Woohoo! Upon his death, he dropped a strange map titled Grand Feast. Was this what he was talking about? This might be worth checking out. I followed the map all the way to the location of the feast when I spotted some of my followers in a cage. What the? Before I could do anything, someone bonked me on the head and I was out cold. On days 76 through 79, I woke up to find myself in the same cage that all of my followers were in. Outside, the head guard was speaking to his men.
Hey, great work today. Tomorrow we will feast on the foolish dragon god and his followers.
What?
Huzzah!
All of the men left, leaving me alone in the cage with my followers. Are you guys okay? What was that guy talking about?
After the Shadow God captured us, he sent us here to be eaten.
Eaten? Why would he do that?
Since his followers were becoming disloyal, he figured eating them would be a fitting punishment to ensure no one ever leaves.
We would be forever trapped in his belly.
That's sick! Let's find a way out of here. I took a deep breath in and exhaled, using my new Ender Breath power to melt the bars and let all of my followers escape.
We're free! Thank you, Dragon God.
Are you coming with us?
I'm gonna stay back and investigate. You guys go on ahead. My followers ran to safety, and I snooped around the massive table to try and find out more about the Shadow God's plans. As I scanned the scraps of the table, I managed to find a note left by one of the knights. I picked it up and took a look inside. The civilization in the sky is real. We must report to the Shadow God so he can gain more followers. A civilization in the sky? If I can find this city, I can really grow my kingdom.
Stop right there.
Just then, a group of guards arrived.
Nowhere to run, Dragon God. Let's get you back in that cage.
No way! I'm not gonna be anyone's dinner! I had faced one of them before, but now that I was up against an army, things were a lot more challenging. The horde of knights swang at me with their blades, but I knew that my sword wouldn't be enough to pierce through their armor. I used my purple flames to melt through their numbers and keep them at bay. The knights teleported at me trying to get in close, but I pushed them off of me with my geode sword. One by one, they began to succumb to my power. Despite their numbers, I took out the group of guards. All of a sudden, I felt my wings grow back. Perfect timing. Now I can fly out of here. On days 80 through 83, I flew through the world asking various mobs for information about the sky civilization. In the distance, I spotted a strange tower with an old wizard watching me from the top. I flew in closer to talk to the old wizard. Hey, why are you looking at me like that?
Ah, young one. I've seen a hidden place where dragons like you roam freely in the skies.
Well, that's convenient. Where is this place?
I don't remember. Perhaps some food would help jog my memory.
I offered him some of my food I had, but he rejected it.
No thank you. I only eat the fruit of the golden apple tree.
Fine. I guess I'll go find you a golden apple. I flew around until I spotted a golden apple tree, but it was being guarded by an overworld drake. With no other option, I charged into battle. The drake let out a ferocious roar that caused the ground to tremble beneath us. He charged at me with his powerful horns and bashed into me to deal big damage. Luckily, I was protected by my armor, otherwise I would have been badly hurt. I melted through his scales with my godly dragon breath while trying to keep my distance so he couldn't reach me with his claws. This went on for a while, but I was beginning to overpower the beast. After a difficult fight, I managed to slay the beast. Now that the monster was gone, I picked a few apples from the tree and flew back to the wizard. I gave the golden apples to the wizard and he ate them up quickly. Do you remember me now?
Yes. You see, it was a rather mundane Tuesday afternoon, I think. Or was it Wednesday? No, it was definitely a Tuesday.
Go on.
Anyways, I was wandering through the desert and began admiring a particularly fascinating cactus. You know, the ones with those spiky bits? When suddenly a dragon egg fell from the sky and landed right on my noggin.
The desert! That's where I'll have to go next. I flew off, leaving the old wizard to ramble to himself.
It was quite the sensation, though not particularly remarkable, all things considered.
On days 84 through 86, I flew to the desert the old wizard told me about. After some searching, I found a sky dragon on the ground.
Greetings, fellow dragon. Please, listen to our plight. An evil entity controlled by the Shadow God himself has taken over our dear leader Sky Temple. And what's worse, they've taken him captive. Can you help us, brave dragon?
That's what I'm here for. The dragon started cheering and applauding. I was gonna save their leader. So where do I go?
Just go straight up. The Sky Temple isn't hard to miss.
Sounds easy enough. I left the dragon and began flying straight up into the sky. There, I found a giant floating island being corrupted by the entity. Uh-oh. This guy's bad news. On days 87 through 89, I began to investigate the Sky Temple for the trapped leader. As I navigated the temple, I was suddenly ambushed by a horde of Naga. The Nagas were skilled flyers like me and spun at me with a powerful spinning move. I tried to retaliate with my fire attacks, but the rain made it impossible to use. Luckily, my purple breath was hot enough to withstand the rain. I went in close with my blue geode sword and began to slash the Nagas up close and personal. They dug into me with their powerful teeth and spat green projectiles at me to deal loads of damage. Unfortunately for them, they were not able to withstand the power of a dragon god. I managed to take out the goons and continued searching the temple. After a while, I stumbled across the Sky Dragon leader who was being held captive in a cage. Don't worry, I'll blast you out of here with my godly fire breath. I tried to scorch through the bars, but nothing happened. Wait, what?
These bars have been reinforced to withstand any manner of magical interference. The only way through is to catch the entity who holds the key.
Just then, a tiny player holding a key scurried by.
There he is! Get him!
I did as I was told and zigzagged through the Sky Temple after the key. I hurried until the little player ran into a jungle golem.
Look what we have here. Trying to free the Sky Dragon's leader, I see.
That's right! Hand over the key!
You'll have to get through me first. The Shadow God won't be happy if you get these followers in your hands.
The jungle golem picked up the key and charged at me. He went at me with his fists, trying to beat me down with brute force. Now that I was indoors, I was able to use my fire abilities again. I began to burn through the golem's defenses and tried to overwhelm him with the fury of my flames. The jungle golem retaliated with powerful explosive projectiles. Thankfully, my armor protected me and I continued wearing him down bit by bit. Once he was weak, I finally unleashed my purple flames and dealt the finishing blow. After he went down, I claimed the key. Time to gain some new followers. On days 90 through 92, the key worked and the bars of the cage disappeared.
Thank you, Dragon God. Your perseverance has saved myself and our people from that wicked Dragon God's tyranny.
No problem. Saving people is kind of my specialty. What will you do now?
We'll have to find a way to continue living in peace. But with all this corruption of our land, I don't believe it's possible.
You guys can stay with me. I tossed over a map to my base so we could all meet up there later.
Your kindness will not be in vain. My people and I will honor you, great Dragon God.
Suddenly, I felt a huge surge in my follower count. My body underwent another transformation. I grew bigger and more powerful, and my scales glistened in gold. I now had the power to control the sun and regenerate. This is it! My strength has returned! I can finally defeat the Shadow God! On days 93 through 95, I returned to the base to find the Shadow God looming over. What do you want? I'm strong enough to take you out right now!
I've heard that the Sky Dragons were coming here. I've come to claim my new men.
You can't force people to follow you. That's no way to be a god.
We'll see about that.
The Shadow God shot a powerful attack of darkness at my followers. I couldn't let him hurt them, so I intercepted the attack, causing me to take massive damage.
You're sacrificing yourself for mortals? Ha! You're a fool. This is where you fall.
The Shadow God shot another attack, trying to take me out while I was weak, but Zip protected me before I was hit. Zip, no! The projectile caused Zip to be corrupted by the Shadow God. He now followed him. Let him go!
If you want your little friend back, then come and get him!
The two of them vanished from my base. He's gone too far. I'm gonna save my first follower no matter what! On days 96 through 98, I began to work on the final preparations I needed to do before facing the Shadow God. I started by building an area for the Sky Dragons to call their own. I made sure it was perfectly fit for them and reminiscent of their original home. Next, I did the finishing touches on my temple. I added arches above the top platform to give the base a more elegant look. I also added my very own throne that I could sit in as I watched over my followers. With that, my Dragon God base was completed. Perfect! Once I was finished, one of the Sky Dragons landed at my base.
Come with me. I want to show you something.
I followed them down to the surface and realized my people had thrown me a festival in my honor.
Surprise! Enjoy the festivities.
Whoa, this is awesome! I began to explore all the different things my followers had prepared. Among all of the people celebrating was a massive golden dragon statue surrounded by a ton of offerings. I dug through the offerings and found a potion of void resistance that would be useful in my journey ahead. This is amazing. Thank you all. I'm only this powerful now because of you.
Go save Zip.
I will! With my mind made up, I took to the sky and headed towards the Shadow God's fortress. On day 99, I returned to my old kingdom to find the entire place transformed. The blocks had changed and the air felt heavy. This place has a bad vibe to it now. Just then, a horde of my old followers confronted me.
You're the god we abandoned. Leave these lands.
The Shadow God is corrupting you. He only wants to eat you for more power. Despite my pleas, they didn't listen. The corruption took over and caused them to transform. They all began to attack me. In their new form, they were much stronger, but I didn't want to hurt them. I went easy on them using mostly my sword to fend them off. They didn't stand a chance against my godly powers, but I was able to knock some sense into them. They all turned back to normal.
Ugh, my head! Great Dragon God! Is that you?
Yeah! I quickly explained what had happened and how they were being controlled by the Shadow God.
He wanted to eat us? Don't worry, we follow you now!
With my followers back to normal, I took down my potion of void resistance and continued deeper inside the castle. On day 100, I broke into the fortress to find the Shadow God waiting for me. Beside him was my friend Zip, trapped in a cage.
I see you managed to get past my guard, but that doesn't matter. I'll defeat you just like I did on day 1.
I'm stronger than you think. Let my friend go.
Never!
He began to attack me and the fight of the gods began. We flew out of the castle and fought in the sky. Dragon versus dragon. We were both skilled fighters and shot powerful attacks at each other. The Shadow God used his void attack in combination with a powerful laser. Although we could both fly, I was quicker than he was. I dodged his projectiles and retaliated with my fire powers. I used them to burn through his scales, while my potion of void resistance protected me from his dark attacks. In combination with my hot purple flames, I bombarded the god so quickly that he couldn't keep up. He was getting confused. I used this to my advantage and went in close with my blue geode sword to slash him down. It was anyone's game, but I finally managed to defeat the Shadow God. I did it! I freed Zip from his prison, and now once again ruled over my domain. I'm the mightiest dragon god!
Imagine you're an Enderman, picking up blocks, teleporting, and battling giant monsters for 100 days! On day 1, I spawned in the end as a baby Enderman. Hey, what's up? I was in an end city, and it was under attack by some sort of shulker monster. I can never catch a break! Since I was a baby, I only had 5 hearts. Around me, Endermen were terrified and teleporting, but unfortunately, I couldn't.
The alliance between the Shulkers and Endermen has been altered. You all work for me now.
Yes, Master.
All of the Endermen nearby the shulker monster transformed into Ender minions and started listening to him.
Son, we have to get out of here, now!
Okay, we ran from the carnage, eventually finding a small hideout. After that, we tried to get some sleep. On day 2, I woke up, still scared about yesterday.
Does that mean our kind is evil now?
It seems some of them are, but I don't know for sure.
My dad took me to a chorus fruit where I gathered up as much as I could. I ate a piece, teleporting me to a random spot. Whoa!
I remember the rush of learning to teleport. Once you're older, son, I'll teach you to master
for everything. I don't know what I'd do without you. This moment...
We're staying right here, thank you.
No, you're now a member of the Shulker army.
I'm sorry, but us Endermen have a millennia-long alliance with the Shulkers.
The alliance is dead. You're coming with me.
Suddenly, the Shulker guard started to drag my dad away. Dad!
Find the Elder Farlander. They can train you.
Before I could respond, the Shulker guard teleported away with my dad. I was alone again, but I swore I would find the Elder Farlander and save my dad. On day 3, I wandered around dazed and confused. Where am I? Everywhere looks the same! After some traveling, I stumbled upon an end portal. I was about to jump in when...
Come with me, Pipsqueak, Lord Shulker.
I turned around, and an Ender Dragon pup was staring at me. Hey, little guy, are you okay? Oh no, I'm so sorry. I felt bad for the dude and didn't want to leave him behind. How about you come with me? I'm going to the overworld to defeat Lord Shulker. He agreed, so I decided to give him a nickname. How about Enzo? After that, we traveled to the overworld together. When we arrived, it was really weird. What's up with all this green? Wait, come back! I was insulted. What did I ever do to him? I got over it quickly after spotting some strange liquid. What's that? I jumped in, but it started to hurt me. Ow, 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 ow. I definitely wasn't gonna make that mistake again. After my painful swim, I cut down some trees and made a set of wooden tools. Then I went mining, upgrading to stone tools. Bye, lame wooden pickaxe. I knew I had to make it to the end as soon as possible, but I was gonna need to be stronger first. With a long day over, I called it a night. On days 4 through 7, I woke up and ate some of my chorus fruit. Suddenly, I transformed into a full-size adult. Wow, I can see so much more from up here. As an adult Enderman, I now had 20 hearts. I'm even able to teleport further distances now. Woohoo! I was having so much fun, I accidentally teleported super far away. Wait, where am I? I was once again alone and lost, and began searching for a way back to Enzo. Enzo! Enzo! Where are you? I eventually stumbled upon an end portal in the middle of a plains biome. What in the world? Suddenly, an end golem emerged from the portal.
What luck! The Shulker Lord was having me track down all the Endermen that remained in the overworld.
Not happening, bud. The two of us began to fight. He was huge and sent out powerful attacks that matched his size. However, with my new teleport powers, I was able to evade him. Can't catch me, big guy.
My size isn't just for show.
He managed to land a heavy hit on me, leaving me with low health. I really didn't think I was gonna make it, but I managed to overcome him in the end. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Upon his death, the End Golem dropped a map and a note. The war between Shulkers and Endermen has begun. Attached is your campsite. Keep your supplies and rest up here, Lord Shulker. I knew I would have to investigate the campsite soon, but first, I must get stronger. I tried to break the end portal, but it just wouldn't budge. Just break already! On my way home, I found a village, grabbing some food. After a long journey, I found Enzo and called it a day. On days 8 through 11, I chopped down some trees and started building my base. I planned to make it look like an End City house when it was finished. Once I was done building, I realized I already wanted to change the layout. To keep me and Enzo safe, I built underground. I started digging, carving out a large space below our cabin. While doing so, I managed to find heaps of coal and iron. Sweet, this'll come in handy. With it, I made an iron pickaxe and iron boots. To make sure mobs didn't spawn in my new home, I made several torches and placed them everywhere. That'll have to do for now. After finishing, a villager walked up to me outside my house. Hey, how can I help you?
Whoa, an Enderman?
It's all right. No need to worry. I have no beef with villagers.
Whew. I came here to ask if you could destroy an evil Enderman for me.
I'll do that as soon as I can, but I have a few things I need to do around here. Once he left, I realized Enzo and I needed beds, so I made shears, found some sheep, and gathered some wool. When I got back home, I made and set down our beds. There we go. Time to get some proper sleep. On days 12 through 15, I decided to go back to the end to gather materials. I arrived, but it was a shell of what it once was, completely ravaged by the Shulker army. This must be the Lord Shulker's doing. I returned to what was left of the End City and mined for as much materials as I could. I also gathered more chorus fruit, since it's yummy and helps me learn teleportation. A chorus fruit a day keeps the Shulkers away. On the way back to the portal, I spotted a little Enderman being bullied by a huge Enderman.
Come with me, Pipsqueak. The Lord Shulker demands it.
Hey, let him go!
Oh, you've brought friends. You will need to come with me as well.
Never! I began to battle the monster. However, compared to the fight I had with the End Golem, it was a breeze.
I was able to evade all of his attacks with my teleporting powers. Soup, try harder! I finally managed to take him down. Easy! The monster dropped an ender chest, which would come in handy later. Now I just need one more. Well, would you like to come live at my base? We returned home together, where I created a bed for ND Jr. to sleep in as well. Afterwards, we went to bed. ND Jr. slept weird.
On days 16 through 19, I decided to scope out the evil Enderman haunting the village. When I arrived, I found the village was being destroyed by an evil Ender minion. Oh no, I'm too late! I found a villager, barely clinging to life. Is there anything I can do to help you? He quickly dropped me a bow and some arrows.
Avenge my people!
And then he died. Red-eyed and mad, I went to fight the Ender minion. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Lord Shulker's sword is almighty.
I tried to reason with him, but he still attacked me. Snap out of it! Lord Shulker is not in charge of you!
Yes, he is!
The fight continued. He was tough too, dealing multiple different types of magic attacks. I had no choice but to fight back, in hopes of breaking his trance. I knocked him out and ran to his side. Please, stand down.
Run!
What? Why?
Just run and hide! The Lord is coming!
I quickly hid and watched from afar when the Lord Shulker appeared.
What do we have here? A deserter? Time to be mind controlled again.
No, sir, please. I have a family. I have a wife.
Who have been turned all the same. I grow tired of this.
Before my eyes, the Enderman I had defeated was mind-controlled once again. Lord Shulker then summoned even more mind-controlled Ender minion.
Find more rogue Endermen. I must expand my numbers even more.
I had no choice but to flee in horror. I promised then, though, to return to the end and save my people from this monster. On days 20 through 21, I found tons of sheep. Hey, you guys want to join my home base? They were a little hesitant, but agreed. Great, then follow me. I was excited, since I was gonna need a lot of wool for a project. When I got back home, I started destroying my base. My plan is to rebuild it, with inspiration from the end city I'm from. After quite a bit of building, it was a good start. It feels more like home. Afterwards, I expanded into the underground, where I replaced the stone with end blocks as well. Even better, I then built the sheep a small pen and an iron pickaxe. I still had more end blocks to use, so I decided to extend the underground base, adding a hallway and room. Wow, this place is really starting to come together. Once the expansion was complete, I went outside to find that it was covered in snow. What the heck? This is a forest biome. Suddenly, a snow golem emerged from hiding. He explained that his home was destroyed by a monster. Well, look no further. I made some snow and placed it all around his new room. After placing a bed, it was good to go. Don't worry, it'll melt. On days 22 through 24, I went looking for more materials. I was gonna need a lot more to continue building the base. As I was looking, I stumbled upon a pig teleporting. I thought the expression was when pigs fly. Well, would you like to come live with me in my base? Maybe we can help you. The pig and I headed back to the base, where I built him his own room. He loved it. I'm glad you like it. I remembered that I still needed to explore the map from the Ender Golem. The campsite was probably loaded with valuable supplies and information. Let's get stealthy. I set off to the camp, and unsurprisingly, it was full of Ender minions and Ender Golems. Well, now's my chance to investigate. I searched the camp high and low, looting some magenta stained glass, arrows, and iron on the way. Finally, I found an important looking room. I decided to investigate it further, and located a chest hidden behind some bookshelves. Inside was a note. We last spotted the Elder Farlander in the Nether. Search parties will continue scanning each dimension thoroughly. Ender Golem. I took the note and went on my way. As I was leaving, an Ender Golem confronted me.
State your business here.
I'm just lost.
Not anymore.
Suddenly, the Ender Golem lunged at me. I teleported away, knowing that enforcements were sure to come. I decided it was best to return back to the base and regroup. So the Elder Farlander is in the Nether. On days 25 through 27, I had a dream with the Elder Farlander and my dad. My dad was begging him to take me in.
Elder Farlander, sir, the kid needs guidance.
Max has great powers, and to fully awaken it before its time could bear great danger.
But an accidental awakening could deem even more danger. Fair point. Tell the boy to follow the light to the house of the Soul Lantern in the Nether. He'll find me there.
Then I woke up. To find the Elder Farlander, I have to find the House of the Soul Lantern? I set out on my journey to find him. Along the way, I was stopped by a villager.
Help me, please! My wife!
I followed him, curious what was going on. When we got to the house, his wife was shaking uncontrollably.
It's been like this for weeks now, and it's getting worse!
That's when the Shulker Lord put a spell on us Endermen. Could it have affected overworld creatures too? Out of nowhere, the villager began to shake even more wildly, transforming into an Ender Minion. Oh my god! Thinking fast on my feet, I crafted a boat and put it down in front of her. She got into it, becoming stuck. I'm gonna figure this out, I promise. I'm in search of a man who can help. On days 28 through 30, I knew I needed to continue my search for the Elder Farlander, but there was something I needed to do first. Using some black dye that Enzo grabbed, we started on an Enderman statue. I planned for it to be a symbol to Lord Shulker that we weren't scared of him. I like it! After building, I continued my search. The overworld needed his help now more than ever. I traveled for what seemed like hours and began to feel a bit hopeless. How am I supposed to find some random soul lantern? Suddenly, by total coincidence, I found one laying in front of me. Well, that's convenient. He must be this way. I continued to travel in the direction I was going and found another one. Getting warmer. I traveled even more and found Soul Lantern number 3. Red hot! I pressed on until I discovered the final Soul Lantern. It was next to a giant Enderman nether portal, covered in endstone. Bingo! This must be the place. I eagerly jumped through the nether portal. When I made my way through, I found myself staring face to face with a strange end house covered in lanterns. This must be the House of the Lantern.
Yes, it is. State your business, you must.
He looked very different from what I was expecting. Still, I pleaded with the Elder Farlander. My dad told me to find you.
So Xavier's son, you are.
I explained that the Lord Shulker is turning all the Endermen against each other, and is even transforming overworld mobs into his minions.
Unfortunate that is. I'm too old to fight anymore. But train you and research a cure. I will.
When does training start?
It just did.
On days 31 through 33, I continued to train with Elder Farlander. He was no pushover either. Our training sessions were intense. First, he taught me how to move blocks with my mind.
Control. You must learn control.
I used my new ability to fight off hoglins. This is incredible! Next, he taught me how to teleport with more precision. I was suspended above lava, moving from block to block. I don't like this! Finally, we practiced dodging projectiles. Why am I standing in front of these targets?
All Endermen should be able to avoid measly arrows.
I did my best and was actually pretty good at it, but I also got hit too. Ow! Oh! After our training was over, the Elder said he had something he wanted to tell me.
Friends, Lord Shulker and I once were. He was just a small shulker box when I met him.
Well, now he's just a big jerk.
The Endermen weren't always the best to the Shulkers, but stronger, I thought the Alliance was. We will need to train again soon, but for the meantime, take this.
He gave me a phantasmal blade. Whoa, this is awesome! Thank you so much! I headed back home and tested it out on some mobs. I was able to throw an infinite amount of swords. Sweet! On days 34 through 37, I continued to work on the Enderman statue. I've now completed the second leg. I dig it! After that, I went mining in search of diamonds. After some digging, I found some. Heck yeah! With it, I made myself some diamond boots. While underground, I heard a weird noise. What in the world? I investigated, stumbling upon a group of Enderiophagins. What are you guys doing here? They caught my Enderman scent, going in to attack immediately. Hey, stop! I'm a good guy! They latched onto me, draining my hearts and giving me Ender Flu. Realizing I had no choice, I began to fight back. Yeah, take this! Luckily, using my new blade, I was able to take them all out. When they died, they dropped capsid cubes, a cure for the Ender Flu. Wait, could this be a cure to Lord Shulker's mind control? I rushed back to the village as fast as I could. On days 38 through 40, I returned to the village to test out my cure on the villager. To my luck, the turned villager was still trapped in my boat. How's she doing?
She's gotten worse. Her screams keep the other villagers up at night.
Well, I think this could do just the thing. I gave her a capsid cube, but instead of curing her, she transformed into a Titan Enderman. That's not the thing I had in mind! I teleported outside, and the Titan Enderman followed. I had no choice but to fight. Yeah! Take this! The Titan was tough, its punches doing a lot of damage. Please, I don't want to hurt you!
The Lord Shulker demands your capture.
Now I knew for sure. He was behind all of this. When I was about to land the final blow, the husband stepped between me and the Titan.
Please stop! She may be a Titan, but she's still my wife. Surely there must be a cure.
You're right. I'll keep looking for a cure. I put the villager back in a boat to make sure she doesn't cause any more damage. I'll figure this out, I promise. I left the village, unfortunately with even more questions than before. On days 41 and 42, I was tired of only eating chorus fruit. I realized I needed to plant crops for easy food. I decided to make an automatic farm using redstone to avoid stepping in water. First, I mined some redstone. Next, I made dispensers, hoppers, and some chests. After that, I made some buckets and gathered some water. I made the final touches, finishing the automatic garden. Thanks, Enzo. Later in the day, I went mining, finding a ton of diamonds. Woohoo! I used it to make some diamond leggings. I then used some of my iron to make a chest plate. After that, the End City base needed some more work, so I added another layer to the top. Magnifico! On days 43 through 47, I could see Enzo trying to use his wings to fly. Oh, hey, bud. What you doing? Trying to fly? Say no more. We're gonna get you flying through the sky, little man. I decided to go back to the end to find elytra for Enzo, as well as gather more purple blocks for the base. When I arrived, I headed straight for the airship. I know the elytra's in there. Once I was on top, I spotted the Lord Shulker speaking to an Ender Minion. And there's the big guy himself. I listened in on their conversation. They were discussing plans in preparation for the Lord's castle in the end.
And it's gonna be tall, right?
Yes, of course. Very tall, my liege.
The Lord Shulker dropped some schematics for the Ender Minion, and they left in separate directions. Now's my chance. I grabbed the elytra and looted chests that were filled with diamonds. Enzo's gonna be so excited! After I finished looting, I followed the Ender Minion to locate the whereabouts of the Lord's base. In the distance, I saw Ender Minions working on an unfinished structure. It looked like a giant castle. This must be the place. Lord Shulker better brace himself. With my newfound information and loot, I headed back home. On days 48 through 50, I found Enzo breathing fireballs at creepers. Whoa, what's happening here? We fought off all the creepers together, me using my sword and him using his fireballs. Enzo, I didn't know you could do that. Cool. Well, hey, I have a gift for you. I tossed him the elytra and he jumped for joy. Using the gunpowder from the creepers, I made a ton of fireworks for him. Let's give it a test flight, bud. Enzo was a natural. He flew through the sky as gracefully as I've ever seen. Then let's go get some grub. We can do that? We gave it a shot and it actually worked. It was exhilarating. We flew around looking for food. Eventually, we found some chickens, taking them out for our next meal. After some snacking, we noticed a coliseum in the distance. It was huge! We landed on top to scope it out. This place looks promising, Enzo. Let's go inside. After looking around, we found a mysterious chest. Oh, treasure! We opened it only to find a ton of bread. What the? Who lives here? The Lord of Bread? Suddenly, a two-headed Titan Enderman appeared behind us. Uh-oh. Hey, is this your bread?
You'll never defeat the Shulker Lord.
That's what this is about? Bring it on, big guy! The Enderman attacked us, and he was incredibly strong. But with Enzo at my side, I knew we could take him down. Get sliced, monster! I unleashed the power of my phantasmal blade, doing some serious damage. After a furious battle, the Titan finally fell. Victory! Upon his death, he dropped Titan Hide. Oh, Titan Hide? This could be useful as a cure. After a long day, we flew back home. On days 51 through 53, we began adding another level to the base, so it more closely resembles the structures from my End City home. While we were at it, we added more to the statue as well. We started and completed the body with black wool. Looking good, handsome. While we were building, a cow approached us.
Excuse me, sir, but our feeding grounds are infested with a bunch of weird ender bugs. You mind helping us out?
Ew, really? I'm sorry, but I'm a bit busy.
We can pay you for your efforts. Please.
Okay, meet you there. They gave me a map and left. Wasting no time, I recruited Enzo and we headed off. Once we got there, we saw that the area was littered with creepy crawly critters. Okay, Enzo, let's investigate. They were definitely hostile, so we started exterminating the pests. Oh my god, there's so many! Where did these things come from? The end? They were swarming us, nearly taking us down. Ew, 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 gross, gross, yeah! Die! Once we finished off the last pests, the cows rewarded us with some diamonds. Holy cow! Where'd you get this?
Well, I ain't telling. You guys wouldn't happen to have a place we could crash at, would you?
Sure thing. Come with us. With that, we headed back home. On days 54 through 57, I started by making a pen for the cows. Afterwards, I traveled to the end to gather more materials for the base. But when I entered, I was surrounded by shulker boxes. Hey, what's going on? They fired at me, causing me to float upward. Whoa, 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 this is crazy! Take this! Yeah! I floated to the top and then realized I was sealed in a cage. What the? I'm trapped! What is happening? Suddenly, the Lord Shulker appeared.
So you're the troublemaker.
What do you want with me? And what do you want with the Enderman?
It is my time to rule. And you're in my way. Say goodbye.
No! Right when he was about to mind control me, Enzo appeared.
What the?
He broke me free, and we got the heck out of there. Oh, that was close, Enzo. Let's try to get some sleep. On days 58 through 60, I woke up and decided to check on the teleporting pig. He was phasing even more uncontrollably. Please don't turn into an Ender Minion. I hope that didn't happen, but at the moment, there wasn't much I could do. For the time being, I worked on adding a third layer to the base. It was getting pretty big. You're beautiful! With the building finished, I returned back to the Elder Farlander. I wanted to see if he knew about mind control and how to negate it. Elder, our people are being controlled by the Shulker Lord. Even inhabitants of the overworld are turning into Ender Minions. How do I end this?
I imagine there's a potion I can brew, but it will take some time.
I was disappointed, but hopeful in the Elder. After our conversation, we did some more rigorous training, where I was perfecting my block control. I think I'm getting the hang of this. With my skills improving, the Lord Shulker didn't stand a chance. Training ended, so I headed back home. Now we are closer than ever to saving my people and the overworld from the evil Lord Shulker. On days 61 through 63, I wanted to go back to the end to stop the Lord Shulker. I was about to leave when the snow golem stopped me. I'm kinda in the middle of something important. Okay, I'll see what I can do. He told us where to go, then Enzo and I headed in that direction. When we arrived, we discovered a weird dome-shaped cave with a cyclops inside. It kinda looks like a snowy meatball. We walked into it, where the cyclops had captured multiple sheep and snow golems.
Goody, I've been in the mood for some exotic meat, and Enderman will do just fine.
Not if I have something to say about it. We began to fight the Cyclops, but the attacks seemed to do very little against him. We needed to change our game plan. Go for the eye, Enzo! I began using my Phantasmal Blade to send attacks into the monster's eye. Enzo joined in, using his fireballs. After a fierce battle, we managed to slay the Cyclops. The sheep and snow golems thanked us, saying they thought they were goners. It was no big deal. Well, hey, you guys want to come join our base? We returned home, where I extended the pen for our new sheep residence. Afterwards, I decided to sleep for the night. I had some big plans for the next day, and I needed to rest up. On days 64 through 67, I decided to head back to the end to kick some shulker butt. Okay, here goes nothing. Enzo was right. We needed to find a different end portal. Wait a second. There's still that end portal from a few weeks ago. We decided to leave the base to check it out. When we got there, a scary Enderman monster was guarding it. Now what do we do? That guy looks terrifying. Enzo ran down to speak to the monstrous Enderman.
Look at you!
He was actually able to distract the beast, allowing me to sneak past and jump into the end portal. Whoa, where am I? I was in Lord Shulker's castle. Perfect. Time to save my people. I looked around the room, realizing they were well equipped. Netherite swords and tons of armor. Gah, want to take some of this, but I don't want them to know I was here. I decided to come back when I was better prepared for the battle. I hopped back into the portal and we snuck back home with our newfound information. Lord Shulker is going down! On days 68 through 70, I gathered some more wool and finished up the arms and part of the head of the statue. Almost there. Teleportation has really sped things up. I then used my automatic farm to collect our crops. This thing is so cool! After that, I remembered the villager and her husband, and felt bad that I hadn't found a cure yet. I'm gonna go check on them. I headed back to the village, but when I arrived, everyone had been turned into an Ender Minion. Oh god, I'm too late! I bolted into a villager's house and began to craft as many boats as I could. I ran around town and began to place them down everywhere. It was actually working! As I did, some of the Ender Minion villagers tried to attack me. I had to hit them with my sword to get them off. Excuse me! So sorry! I eventually managed to contain the entire town in boats. I'm sorry, everyone. I'll get you a cure as fast as possible. I promise. With a heavy heart, I headed home. But when I arrived, I discovered that Enzo was now shaking his head uncontrollably. No, not you too. Hang in there, buddy. I'm gonna fix this as soon as I can. I called it a day, ready for a fresh start in the morning. On days 71 through 74, I made a diamond pickaxe. It's about time! Then I added another layer to the base. I was loving the look of it. It really feels like I'm in the end. After the expansion, I decided to go exploring. I needed answers to the Lord Shulker's mind control abilities. During the adventure, I stumbled upon a field of cows. Hey guys, how's it going? Man, everyone has been feeling sick. Suddenly, all the cows transformed into Ender Minions. Oh no! Not you guys too! I didn't have any more boats, so I had no choice but to fight them. I'm sorry! I defeated all the Ender Minions, upset at what I had to do. Please forgive me, everyone. After the carnage, Lord Shulker appeared.
Why, hello, Max. I have to say you did a number on those cows. I'm so proud of you. We're more alike than I first thought.
I'm nothing like you.
Oh, you will be soon enough.
The Lord Shulker swung his fist, sending me flying into the air. Ah! I was so high up, falling would have been fatal. Ah! I used quick thinking to teleport myself right before I hit the ground. Woo! That was a close one. On days 75 through 78, I continued building the statue. I've now started the eyes. Beautiful. Unfortunately, Enzo had now begun to teleport uncontrollably. I'm gonna fix this, buddy. I'll be back soon, buddy. I was beginning to fear he would turn soon, so I decided to return to the Elder Farlander in hopes of him having a cure ready. Things are beginning to look urgent. Have you found a cure yet?
Almost done with the potion I am, but I haven't cracked it just yet.
Aw, man. Suddenly, I remembered the Titan hide I had gotten from my battle at the Colosseum. Wait, I almost forgot. Maybe this could be what you're missing?
Perhaps. Hand it here, and I'll test it out later.
I handed over the hide to the Elder Farlander, but as I was about to leave, he stopped me.
Before you leave, one more potion I have.
Oh? I drank the potion, transforming me into a mutant Enderman. Now that I'm transformed, I have 30 hearts. Whoa! This is amazing! With this new buff, I was one step closer to ending this once and for all. On days 79 through 84, I traveled back home. When I arrived, another two-headed Enderman was waiting for me. I'll have you know we've already killed one of you.
I come with a message. The Lord Shulker is aware of your attempts at suppressing his plans and will no longer allow it.
I don't care what the guy allows and doesn't allow. His people are our allies.
The alliance between the Endermen and Shulkers is dead.
Use your head. No, your heads. You're an Enderman.
Not anymore. I am Shulker, and you will be soon enough.
The two-headed Enderman ran towards us, sending brutal punches down. Hi-ya! Take this, you two-headed weirdo! I'll never give up. The fight was challenging. Luckily, this wasn't our first rodeo with a two-headed Enderman. You could still stand down.
I'm no coward.
He left us with no choice. I went in for the final blow, killing him. Upon his death, he dropped a map with the location of Enderman prisoners. Maybe this is where my dad is. At that moment, I felt even more confident we could stop the Lord Shulker and save my people. On days 85 through 89, Enzo and I went back home to check on the pig again. Hey buddy, how are you feeling? Just then, the pig started to convulse rapidly, transforming into an Ender minion. No! Piggy! I went to my crafting bench and crafted a boat. Luckily, the Ender pig went in with no complaints. I was getting worried that I was running out of time. At this rate, Enzo would turn soon too. I decided to step outside for some air. When I got there, the Elder Farlander was waiting for me. Whoa, hey, you're here?
Yes, Max. And with gifts, I am.
The Elder Farlander handed me some splash potions. They were a cure to the Shulker Lord's mind control. Oh my god! Thank you!
With pleasure. Just the ingredient I needed. The Titan hide was.
I quickly gave the potion to the pig, and he was instantly cured. It worked! I then tossed the potion to Enzo. With the cure finally in my hands, I knew I needed to act fast and cure everyone who was cursed by the Shulker. First, I returned to the village and cured everyone there, including the villager and his wife.
Honey, you're okay.
Shortcake, I've missed you so much.
Oh.
Thank you so much for saving our town. Please, take this.
The villager gave me bunny hoppers. Now I can jump higher and don't take fall damage. Wow, thank you so much. This will be really useful to take down the Shulker Lord. That problem was solved, but now I needed to save the rest of the Endermen from the Lord Shulker's grasp. I decided to rest up in preparation for my next mission. On days 90 through 95, I woke up to finish the statue. I added glowstone behind each eye, then filled in the remaining magenta stained glass. And with that, the Enderman statue is finally complete. It looks just like me. Next, it was time to gear up. I grabbed everything I would need: weapons, potions, armor, and Enzo. Then we followed the map in search of the Enderman prisoners. When we arrived, we came face to face with the giant Arc Enderman guarding the portal to the end. You ready, Enzo? He was easily our toughest competitor yet. With each occasional hit, he spawned pillagers to help him fight. Stay out of this, guys! This is between me and the freakish Enderman! Luckily, Enzo was able to focus on the pillagers, taking all of them out. This left an opening for me, so I went in and took out the monster. We did it! Next, we entered the end. It snuck out of the castle to search for the Enderman prisoners. This way, Enzo. The map led us to a dead-end cliff. Wait, but it says this way. We realized we'd have to fly forward. Let's do this, buddy. After some flying, we found a floating island. Enzo, look! It's the prisoners! We dropped down onto the prison. There were a lot of turned Endermen. How are we supposed to save everyone? Great idea! Before I left, I threw the potion into the prison, curing all the Endermen. Welcome back, guys! They were all amped to be normal again. Unfortunately, my dad wasn't there. I got on Enzo's back and we headed towards the castle. It was time to end this. On days 96 through 99, Enzo dropped me back off at the castle. You too, buddy. Enzo flew off into the distance, and I turned myself back towards the castle. It's go time. I entered the base and began to make my way to the Lord Shulker's throne room. This place is a maze. I went down some stairs, finding a separate prison. Dad!
Son!
How haven't you been turned into an Ender Minion yet?
I can't explain it, but every time Lord Shulker tried to mind control me, I was able to block it.
Well, either way, I'm here to save you. Just as I was about to break the bars to his cell, I heard a monster scream upstairs. That doesn't sound good. I'll be right back, Dad.
Good luck, son.
On day 100, I walked outside to confront the Lord Shulker. This is all over, Shulker.
This is only the beginning, Enderman. Soon my mind control will span every dimension, and the entire multiverse will be mine!
I already have a cure. You won't get away with this. I charged at Lord Shulker, when all of a sudden, both of us were teleported.
Can't have you messing up my new castle.
I again charged into fight, using my phantasmal blade. His hits were powerful, sending me back in pain. Ow! But I kept at it, using my teleporting more efficiently than ever before. This ends now! The fight continued, and I thought I wouldn't make it. Suddenly, though, Enzo appeared to help. Great work, Enzo! I ignored him, continuing to teleport and use my blade. I also used my telekinesis to throw blocks at him. We went in for a final strike, defeating Lord Shulker. Enzo, we did it!
On day 1, I was an ice fighter, and I was playing with my brother Maxie, showing off my frost breath.
You have such cool ice powers, Bronzo.
Out of nowhere, a nasty fire hornet appeared.
Submit, little ice fighter. I must destroy you before it's too late. Ice is much too powerful, and it has been foretold that you are the only one who will be able to stop me, Scorch, from taking over the world.
I'll never submit. Bring it on. Scorch used her fiery blast against me and Maxie. The flames dealt a ton of damage to my icy skin, but I didn't let that stop me from retaliating. I returned fire with icy frost breath, freezing Scorch in place for moments at a time. As we fought, I gained an ice wand weapon. I grabbed it and started using it against her. Blocks of ice began falling down upon this fiery beast.
You don't know what you're doing, little ice fighter. Someone's going to get hurt.
I used my new power again, but Scorch quickly dodged out of the way, and my ice power hovered over Maxie.
Bronzo!
Maxie! The ice then fell on Maxie, crushing him.
You fool. I warned you. Now you better stay away, or others will face the same fate as Maxie. How about life, Bronzo?
As she flew off, I threw my head up and made a vow. Scorch, on my brother's honor, I swear I will defeat you on the 100th day. You'd better start counting because I'm coming for you. On day 2, I went to go see my mother, the Queen Spider, in the throne room.
Bronzo, my beloved son, it's so wonderful to see you, but where is Maxie?
Mother, I'm so sorry. He's gone.
Oh no, my poor Maxie. Oh, my poor sweet child. We will have to hold a ceremony in his honor, but how did he die?
I was fighting the evil fire hornet, Scorch, and I accidentally crushed Maxie with my new ice power. I didn't mean to.
Son, this might not be the end for Maxie. The magic you hold is special. It comes from the goblins who have the gift of resurrection.
What?
Go, seek out the Goblin King and ask for his help to revive your brother. He should be in his castle, deep in the forest of goblins. Do this, and Maxie may live once again.
My mother had bestowed on me a great quest, one of epic proportion. But first, I had to make sure I had the right tools for the job. Luckily for me, I knew some people that could get me started.
Here, kid, take this map. Should get you all the way to the Goblin Forest. And take this iron pick, too. If you mine yourself some goodies, it should help you along your journey.
Wow, thanks!
You watch yourself now. This world ain't a safe one. Not with Scorch and her firebug crew around.
With my trusty new pickaxe, I quickly ventured deeper into the caves and mined some iron and coal. Soon, I had enough resources to put together an entire iron tool set and some armor. This was exactly what I needed to set out to find the Goblin King. I'm coming to save you, Maxie! On day 3, I left my cave home for the first time ever. Turns out, I was under the tundra the entire time. Wow, it feels great out here. Perfect weather for me. Just then, I saw a bunch of scorpions that wanted to kill me. If you want some, then come get some, curly tails. I used my ice powers to slow them down and damage them. The scorpions had the number advantage on me, but I wasn't gonna let that deter me. One by one, I took them down. I told you I wasn't playing around. I'm dangerous. I had managed to kill all but one of the scorpions.
Scorch will hear of this. You will rue this day.
I tried to follow it, but they were too fast for me to catch up. Yeah, you better run, scaredy scorpion. I was beginning to get hungry and had forgotten to snack up on food. What am I supposed to eat? There is no food here. Suddenly, I spotted a white fox who was munching on some berries while stalking me. Hey you, where did you get those berries? They darted off into the snowy distance as soon as they saw me. Hey, get back here. I'm super hungry. I followed them until we arrived into some woods. They were pretty fast, but I managed to keep up with them. I was determined to get some food. Luckily, the fox ended up leading me right to an area with lots of berry bushes. I stopped following and started grabbing the berries. I'll take these and this and that. I'll take all of it. I collected as many as I could without getting pricked by their thorns.
Oh, she's taking everything.
everything!
I ate all the berries to my heart's content. Little did I realize that I was eating all of the fox's food. Oh man, this is so good. I'm stuffed now. I wandered and found a nice spot to rest. I decided I should make myself some shelter. It wasn't safe out in the open with all these firebugs crawling around. I cut down a few trees to make room and started making the base from stone bricks as well. I used the wood I chopped for the walls and some more stone brick for a cozy central fireplace. Not that that helped me much since I was frozen, but I liked the aesthetic. Sweet dreams to myself, I guess. While I was dreaming, I dreamt of an awesome game filled with exciting characters, cool graphics, and amazing gameplay. Honkai Star Rail. Honkai Star Rail is a brand new free-to-play cross-platform RPG. It's great because you can carry your data wherever you go, no matter what platform you're playing on. It's also super immersive. You'll get to meet new people, explore new worlds, and best of all, overcome powerful enemies. There's dozens of characters to choose from, each with their own unique styles. So choose the one that best suits you. The gameplay is also intuitive and easy to understand, so you can pick up and play. But that doesn't mean skill isn't involved. You'll need to hone your skills in battle if you plan to win. These battles are awesome, with orbital cannons, ice walls, and full-fledged armies. The unique combat abilities of the characters makes it super fun to play as them. There's tons to do in Honkai Star Rail, from finding treasure, solving puzzles, to even just listening to the inhabitants of the universe. Adventure is around every corner, so don't wait. Download Honkai Star Rail now using the link in the description and get 50 Stellar Jades by using the code on screen. Adventure awaits! Thanks Honkai Star Rail for sponsoring the video. On day 4, I woke up with the fox from earlier resting next to me. Hey, that's kinda cute. With the sound of my voice, I startled the fox and they ran away. Wait, come back! Well, I guess I do have a mission on my hands. Legs. I began following the map to find the Goblin Forest and eventually ventured into an ice spike area. This place looks interesting. I hope I'm close by now. What I wasn't expecting was Scorch and her army melting down the ice spikes.
All the ice.
What the heck is she doing? I'm gonna give her a piece of my mind.
It's not safe if you keep going.
The fox was right behind me and stopped me from going any further. Fine. Thanks for stopping me before I do something I regret. I'm Prince Bronzo, by the way.
I've been watching you for a little while. I didn't realize you were a prince with all the berries you kept stealing. Nice to meet you, Your Highness.
No need to call me that.
You got it. My name is Trix. How exactly did you become an ice spider?
It's a long story, and I don't really have time. I have to get to the Goblin Forest.
Oh, hey, that sounds like fun. I can go with you.
Okay, but let's be sneaky and not get caught. Together, Trix and I snuck around the Scorpion campsite and headed towards the Goblin Forest. During days 5 to 6, we followed the map I got from the spider, and soon enough, Trix and I arrived at the Goblin Forest. As we walked through, we spotted some goblins watching us from behind some trees. I wondered if Trix was frightened, but when I turned around, they were gone. Trix, where'd you go? Well, I guess I'm on my own now. Eventually, I found the Goblin King's castle. It wasn't what I expected, but I respected that. Hello, I'm seeking an audience with the Goblin King.
He's busy. Please leave at once.
But I'm the Spider Prince, and if you don't bring me the Goblin King, then I will be forced to use my ice powers against you. The Goblin Guard began laughing profusely.
Your ice powers don't work on goblins. We have magic protection against you. It was our magic that was given to you in the first place.
Ugh, whatever. When will the Goblin King be available?
From the looks of it, he should be free in about 44 days.
What? That's like in the middle of the video! You can't have the Bronzo army waiting that long.
Bronzo army? Is that a threat of war?
No. I don't want any trouble. I walked away in disappointment, but had the clever idea of going around to the back of the castle. As a spider, I could crawl up to the top unnoticed. I'm coming for you, Goblin King. On days 7 and 8, I snuck up the wall of the castle, using my spider legs to climb right to the top. When I got there, I found the Goblin King, who was just chowing down on some soup. How could he ignore me this whole time just to eat some stew? I decided to jump out and confront him. Goblin King, I've come to speak to you. The guard immediately roared at me, ready to attack.
Wait, Ogre! Don't you recognize this spider? He is Prince Bronzo, son of the Spider Queen.
Finally, some recognition around here.
Although I sat here eating soup, I know why you have sought me out. I felt the death of Maxie, your brother, and I knew at once the Spider Queen would ask for my help in his revival.
If you knew this already, why didn't you come out sooner?
It was good soup.
Okay, fine. Are you going to help me, though?
In order for me to help you, you must help me first.
I'll do anything to save Maxie.
As a brother should. Very well. While my men gather the ingredients for the resurrection spell, I need you to, build some new houses for the people of my kingdom.
What? I can try, but why would I be any good at that?
In many of your past lives, you were a great builder of epic proportions. In others, you were really just so-so. Therefore, the skill must have evened out in this life.
That sounds right. I'll give it my best shot then. Let's see what these spider legs can do. I was determined I would need tools if I wanted to build the homes. So from days 9 through 10, that's what I did. I began with mining for diamonds and lots of them. I scoured through the caves and I found pockets of diamonds all over the place. With these, I can make all my tools. I have a diamond sword, pickaxe, and an axe. Then I began building homes for all of the goblins. I used all sorts of different materials to build their homes. Some homes were large, some were small, and some were huge. I made sure it was medieval themed so they could feel right at home. And I made all sorts of cool details, including a fountain with a fancy light post. In the end, all the houses looked very distinct, and something I would be proud to live in. Maybe later, I'll upgrade my base. Let me know what you think I should add. The Goblin King spoke and said this will help strengthen the alliance between our two kingdoms and his relationship with the Queen, whatever that meant.
Thank you so much for the homes. Take this gift as a token of appreciation. It's a fire shield. It should help you against the fire scorpion's scorch.
Thank you, kind ogre. I built a lookout tower at the edge of the town so they could keep watch of who was entering their forest. I can see for miles and miles up here. Nothing will get past. Finally, I met up with the king to talk business.
The ingredients have arrived. We must wait for them to be prepared correctly. I will summon you tomorrow.
Awesome. I'm excited to get my brother back. On days 11 through 13, all of my efforts were finally paying off. The Goblin King led me deeper into the forest, to an ancient ritual stone.
Here we are. This is where we will resurrect your brother. Watch as I place the spell components before this stone and conduct the sacred ritual of life.
The Goblin King threw everything down on the ground and started reciting a poem.
Goblins, goblins, we're the best. Raise this spider from his rest. Eye of spider and string of wool. Do your job and raise this fool.
Wait, where did you get that spider eye? Suddenly, a big glowing circle appeared, and Maxie popped out of it. Maxie, brother, I'm so excited to see you.
My head. What happened? Where are we? Last thing I remember is some big firebug attacking us.
It's a long story. You see—
Stop right there, Prince Bronzo. This is no time for that. Your brother needs rest. Guard, take this spider to get some well-deserved sleep.
Yeah, I think I'll get some rest. See you later, Bronzo.
A goblin guard led my brother away back to the castle.
Maxie must never know what happened to him. If he finds out, he will go mad and might very well die again.
Oh no, that's terrible. How am I supposed to keep this secret from him?
That is for you to find out. And one more thing. Maxie must also never know of your powers. This could trigger the madness that lies within him.
This was very sad to hear, but I decided having Maxie back was worth it, even if it meant never using my powers again. During days 14 to 17, Maxie and I left the Goblin Kingdom together. I'm so happy you're with me, Maxie.
What are you talking about, bro? I've always been with you.
Just then, Trix met back up with us.
Sorry for leaving you back there, Your Highness. I was scared, but I'm glad Maxie is back.
Back? What are you talking about? And who is this?
That's crazy. You didn't go anywhere. This is my new friend Trix, by the way. I took Trix aside for a moment to explain everything. She couldn't tell Maxie about what had happened, or else we would lose him forever.
I get it now. I'll try to keep my mouth shut from now on about it.
Thanks, Trix. Together, the three of us began our journey back to the tundra. When we arrived, trouble was waiting for us. It was Scorch with some of her army. Oh, no. I can't let Maxie see this. Trix, take Maxie home, would ya?
What? Why? I don't want to go. I want to fight.
It's for your own good. Stop arguing with me and leave.
Fine, I will. Let's go, Trix.
I felt bad, but it was for Maxie's own good. Now all that was left was Scorch and her army and myself.
I don't remember your brother being alive last I saw him. He won't last long after I kill him again.
I got super frustrated and launched my ice powers against some of her foot soldiers, killing them in an instant.
How dare you do that to my army? Take this!
Scorch blasted me with a huge amount of fire, but luckily I had my shield to block her attack.
That won't be enough to stop me! Your funny ice fighter! Army! Kill the ice fighter!
Scorch fled the scene as a wave of her army rushed on me. You guys are nothing compared to me. I'm a prince. I unleashed all of my ice power onto them and froze them in their tracks. They didn't stand a chance, but it was too late. Scorch was long gone by now. Curse you, Scorch! Quickly, I realized that if I wanted Maxie to live, I would need to go into exile. So on days 18 to 21, I headed to the cabin I had made earlier and decided to live there. Wow, I'm glad this is still here. If I was going to be living in exile though, I was going to need to live somewhere much cooler. Time to get this party started. The first thing I did was completely tear down the cabin. Better to start fresh, right? Tearing things down was pretty satisfying. Next, I began throwing ice everywhere. I used a few different ice blocks like blue ice and packed ice, as well as some blue concrete for eyes, and gray for my powerful fangs. I wanted to make sure I'd have a much cooler base this time. After a while, I had created a giant room and the start of an awesome ice spider statue. No home is complete without a garden and a giant spider web, right? I threw some wheat, carrots, and potatoes into the mix and created a functional farm. Then I made a trap next to it out of cobweb. I figured this might also catch me some food. Being an ice spider is so handy. Leggy. Somehow, my plan worked, and a lonely pig wandered right into my trap. As the pig looked deep into my eyes, it reminded me of a book I once read. Something about a spider on a farm. Whatever, my stomach grumbled, reminding me that I was really hungry. With the expert instincts of a hunter, I slayed the pig and munched on the pork chops it dropped. Nom 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 nom. Ooh, so tasty. As I sat there chewing, rain began to fall gently around me. It seemed kind of poetic, like the Goblin King's chant. I slowly crawled back to my room, feelings of loneliness making me miss my family even more than I already did. Maxie, I miss you. I got a visit from Trix during days 22 to 25. She told me Maxie was safe.
I also let the queen know that Maxie couldn't find out what happened to him or he'd go insane.
Thanks for your help, Trix. You're very brave. I thought it was time, so I pulled out my sword and knighted Trix. You are now part of the Ice Spider Kingdom.
Yay! This is amazing! I can't wait to tell Maxie! Hey, wait a second. You should come back to the kingdom with me.
No. I exiled myself to keep Maxie safe.
Oh, come on. Don't be so hard on yourself. Let's go. Come on.
Trix, that's enough. Please respect my decision.
Okay, Your Highness. Since I'm your knight now, I will stay by your side and protect you.
Thanks for that, Trix. I decided to make a room for Trix. She would stay in the body of the statue since I'm in charge and took the head. I added berries and decorations to make her room really fit her style. So what do you think?
I love it! I can't wait to help you make the legs later!
I'll be looking forward to that as well. It's gonna be epic! I checked on the cobweb trap during days 26 to 29, and to my surprise, it actually caught something. It's a baby polar bear. They don't really drop meat, so I might as well free it. I should still be careful though.
Thank you for helping me.
Sure, but why are you so far from home?
Well, I got lost. Then I wandered into your trap.
Sorry about that. I can make it up to you by helping you find your home. What do you say? Just then, Trix barged in with some vital information.
I know where it is, but sadly I'm not allowed there anymore. Ah, I know you. You're the Great White Ghost, the best thief in the land.
Thief? What? Is that true?
It's not important. I put it all behind me. I don't live that life anymore.
Okay, Trix. I believe you. So where is it?
Just keep going east and then take a hard right at the tallest pine tree in the land.
Thanks once again, Trix. I couldn't do it without you. I grabbed some supplies and headed out with Pip, following close behind. Everything was going well on days 30 to 33, until Pip and I ran into some real trouble.
We're being attacked! Help us!
Oh no! Pip! They're being attacked by fire beetles! Let's give them a hand! Pip and I leapt into battle, taking out the fire beetles one by one. I used my ice crystal in combination with my sword to freeze the bugs, then chop them down to pieces. Pip was stronger than I thought. He had a really big bite for such a small little bear. Whoa, this is a heated fight. Finally, we won, saving the goblins.
Well, you saved our hides. We was on our way to the royal wedding when those fire beetles jumped out at us. How nasty of them.
You got that right.
Who's the royal wedding for?
Hey, I mean, if you weren't invited, then it's none of your business, is it? See you later, alligators.
The goblins then ran off, leaving us in the dust. Hey, you're welcome. Jeez, that was rude.
Yeah, we're not even alligators.
As Pip and I talked, I realized I needed stronger armor, and Pip didn't even have any. If we were serious about staying safe from danger, we needed better armor. Let's go mine for diamonds, Pip. We need to seriously suit up.
Oh, I've never been mining before.
We searched, and soon enough, Pip and I were rolling in diamonds. I quickly crafted us full diamond armor sets, one for me and one for Pip. Here you go, Pip. You can be safe now, too.
Wow, it's so shiny. Thanks, Bronzo.
No problem. Now let's get you home. Pip and I arrived at the huge pine cone tree from days 34 to 37. We knew Polar City was nearby. Book a hard right here, Pip, just like Trix mentioned. We trotted for a few more miles, and then we finally reached Polar City.
There it is. I'm so happy to be back.
Welcome home, Prince Pip. We've been worried.
Wait, you're a prince too?
Yep. I want you to meet my parents.
Let's do it! I followed Pip through the Polar City and all the way to the king and queen's throne room.
Ah, so you must be my son's great savior I've been hearing about.
Thank you so much for rescuing my little Pip. Who knows where he'd be without you?
I thought to myself how I trapped him in the first place. Yes, you're most welcome.
As a reward, I would like to give you a free training lesson with our appointed teacher, Bert, the iceologer.
Yes, he can teach you more ice tricks.
Just then, Bert rushed in awkwardly.
Sorry for interrupting. I'm just so excited to teach you more about your powers.
Oh, I like an enthusiastic teacher.
It is decided then.
The iceologer woke me up bright and early on days 38 through 41 and immediately brought me somewhere to begin the training. Okay. What's first on the agenda, Bert?
The first thing we'll be working on is improving your armory.
Bert walked over to a type of blacksmithing area and got to work. I watched him use different types of ice-related items and sticks to craft an awesome ice sword.
All right, it's your turn now. Take these and go ahead.
He handed me the same materials, and I did as instructed. With Bert's help, I learned how to create my own ice weapons and tools.
Excellent! You keep that up and you may even be smithing at Skyforge one day.
No idea what you're referring to, but cool. He then led me over to where an ice bowl was waiting for me.
Now, for the most difficult part of your training, you'll be sparring with this nice fellow. And go!
What? Wait, I'm not ready. Ah! Bert hit me towards the bull, and we immediately started to spar. I used my ice to attack, but the bull was incredibly strong. He fought back with a heavy punch, knocking me backwards.
Come on, pal! You can do it!
I know! I'm trying! I jumped back in and kept pushing. Unfortunately, I was still having difficulty getting the upper hand. I was starting to grow frustrated, even with the bull's kind words.
Hey, you got this! Believe it!
Amidst my struggle, I started to feel something spark inside me, and I grew into a larger ice ice spider. I was stronger now and gained 10 more hearts.
That's the stuff. Time for a real challenge now. Come at me.
I did as he asked and kept going. My new size and strength were making the fight much easier. I'm doing it. Ow! The bull suddenly showed off a ground pound ability he hadn't used yet. Whoa! I want to learn that.
Focus! Then maybe you will learn something new.
I began focusing on the fight, and just then, I learned how to summon ice bombs.
I'm so cold.
The cold never bothered me. Thanks for the sparring session. I was happy with my training. I felt like I came out much stronger than I was when I first had arrived. I returned to the Polar King and Queen to thank them for all they had given me.
Please, it's the least we could do for you.
We better hurry and get going, dear. We wouldn't want to miss the royal wedding.
Yes, however, it is quite strange that the Spider Queen and the Goblin King are getting married.
Wait, Mom's getting married? I traveled back to my base on days 42 to 45. When I got there, I got a big surprise. Maxie, what are you doing here?
Bronzo, you're finally here.
Maxie, seriously, you've gotta leave.
No, I won't. Not until I get Bronzo to help me stop the wedding.
I don't think that's a good idea, Maxie.
You don't understand. The Goblin King is trying to take over the kingdom, and Mom can't see it. Bronzo, me and the Spider Kingdom need you more than ever.
I don't know. That really is Mom's decision. Also, that sounds political, which can't be good for PR.
Forget the politics. This is going to ruin the Spider Kingdom.
I left home for a reason. I don't want anything to do with this.
Please come back. It hasn't been the same without you. It's awful. And I can't shake the feeling that everyone's keeping something important from me.
Now you're just being paranoid. No matter what I said, Maxie would not take no for an answer. I knew it was useless to keep arguing. So finally, I gave in. I really missed home anyway. Fine, I'll come back. But I don't want anything to do with your plan to ruin the wedding. Got it? I'm only going to attend.
Yay! Thank you, Bronzo. This is great. Mom's gonna be so happy when she sees you.
Aw, shucks. Okay, let's rest up. We can head back home in the morning. As soon as morning hit, we got straight to work. On days 46 to 49, we started by gathering all the supplies we would need for the road. Once that was done, we gathered to say our goodbyes.
Bye, Trix.
Bye, Trix.
Bye, you two. Stay safe.
Let's get going, Maxie. We're burning daylight. With that, Maxie and I went through the trees and navigated through the tundra. I was so happy that I finally got to see my brother again and spend time with him. I really missed Maxie. Soon enough, we got back to the Spider Kingdom. Everything looked like it was in great shape, and the spiders and goblins were getting along well. It was definitely a lot more crowded than I remembered, though.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Spiders coming through.
This is a bit of a squeeze. Finally, we made it to the throne room.
Mom, I'm back, and I brought Bronzo with me.
My, what a surprise. Bronzo, it's so wonderful to see you. It seems these past days have been full of wonderful news.
Yes, indeed. We're so excited to be getting married. This will be a grand event.
Good to see you too, Mom. Hi, Goblin King. Come on, Maxie. Let's let them get ready. I dragged Maxie off before he could get too upset. It was going to take a while for the wedding to be fully prepared, so I tried to relax. I was back at home. Everything was supposed to be great, but for some reason, I just couldn't relax though. So I decided to wander around. After walking through the streets of the city, I stumbled upon what seemed to be the Goblin King's quarters. He was inside and talking pretty loudly to an ogre.
And then, once the wedding is over, and I'm married to the Spider Queen, I'm gonna start a war! Can you believe how easy this has been? It's like taking candy from a baby polar bear!
You got it, boss.
Oh no! That's not good! I scurried off, making a spider line for Maxie. Maxie, you were right! I just overheard the Goblin King talking about how he wants to start a war!
I was right. Oh no, I was right. Bronzo, we have to stop the wedding.
No kidding! I have an idea. Tomorrow, when the priest asks if there's any objections, let's speak up. We'll have the biggest objection they've ever heard. On days 50 to 53, it was finally time for the wedding. There were spiders and goblins everywhere in the chapel. It was completely crowded. Being the prince, it was my duty to walk the queen down the aisle.
Bronzo, it is so wonderful to have you here. This is the best gift a mother could have ever asked for.
I'm happy to do this for you, Mom. I was not happy happy to do this. In fact, I felt very guilty about what I had to do. I walked my mom down the aisle to where the priest was standing, then went to go sit next to Maxie.
We've got this, bro. Any second now.
And so we are gathered here today to join these two hands, leg and hand in marriage. Together may their reign be long and prosperous. But first, are there any objections? Speak now, or forever hold your peace.
Maxie and I were ready to object, but that's when Scorch burst in.
Objection! Now that I'm here, this wedding is officially cancelled.
Hordes of firebugs poured into the temple and started fighting at everyone they could get their pincers on. Luckily, the spiders and the goblins weren't about to lay down and take it. They started fighting back at once. Talk about wedding crashers. This is ridiculous. I got ready to use my ice powers, but then I remembered Maxie was right here with me. There's no way I could do that with him around. He could die again. I swung and slashed as best as I could, but I wasn't trained to use a sword very much. I always used my ice powers to fight. Take this and that! Suddenly, there was a familiar scream.
Release me at once, fiend!
You're coming with me, Spider Queen.
We tried to get to the front, but there were way too many firebugs in the way. There was no way to stop it, as Scorch whisked our mom away. With a burst of adrenaline, Max and I sliced through the remaining firebugs, along with the help of the rest of the spiders and goblins inside. Unfortunately, it was too late to save Mom.
What do we do now, Bronzo? Mom is gone.
On days 54 to 57, we walked up to the Goblin King to confront him. I felt a little bad because he looked really sad, but I couldn't forget what I had overheard.
Freeze, Goblin King. The jig is up.
Huh?
We know about the war you were planning on starting.
Oh, good. But it's too late for that, I suppose, since the firebug started it before I could.
Wait, what? You wanted to start a war against Scorch? But I thought...
Of course I wanted to start a war against her. Who else in the world would it be against?
I guess you've really always been on our side then. I'm sorry we thought you weren't for a little while.
Yeah, sorry for doubting you.
It's all right. Believe it or not, I get that kind of thing all the time. But forget about me for the moment. We must focus on saving the Spider Queen.
You're right. We need to come up with a plan. First things first, I need to get stronger. Stronger than ever before.
I have a solution. If you wish to become more powerful, you must reach the isolated polar city, within which resides the all-powerful Iceologer, master of all things ice. Ask him to teach you.
Already done.
That's convenient. Now, you must return to him. With his help, you must find the ice core, but only you can use its power, since you are the,
Since you're the what?
Oh, Maxie, forgot you were there. What I was going to say was, since you are the firstborn prince, ha 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 ha.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
I've got to go. No time to waste. Stay here, Maxie. Keep an eye on the kingdom. With a new goal in sight, I set out as quickly as possible. After getting back to the surface, I ran into Trix.
Good to see you! Whoa, what's the rush?
No time to explain. Follow me. As we ran toward the Polar City on days 58 to 61, Trix kept asking questions about where we were going. All about the wedding, the battle, and Scorch kidnapping my mom.
Oh man, that sounds really serious.
It sure is. We have to go fast.
But my legs are so tired.
We traveled miles and miles, going as fast as our legs could take us. After what felt like endless running, the Polar City was in our sight. But as we approached, it was clear something was very wrong. The city was under attack by a horde of firebugs.
Scary!
We've gotta help!
No, too scary!
I drew my sword and jumped into the fray. The firebugs were everywhere. There were too many to get rid of this nasty infestation. I ran around doing my best to help when I stumbled into Bert, the Iceologer. He looked badly injured though. It didn't seem like he had long to live.
Bronzo, you returned!
Bert, don't move. Keep your energy.
Listen to me, Bronzo. Go to the ice forest. Deep within it lies the ice core. But beware! It is in the hands of the ice giants. They are not the warmest hosts. You will have to steal it.
Consider it done.
You've done well, my boy. You will go far in this life.
Bert took one more breath before succumbing to his injuries. No! No! I had so many more questions! The city was overrun by firebugs, though. It wouldn't be long before Scorch would get here. I had to go. With Bert only a memory in my mind, and with a new promise in my heart, I fled the Polar City. As I ran toward the ice forest on days 62 to 65, it seemed like I had been stalked again by Trix. She was hot on my trail and caught up to me quickly.
Bronzo, wait up!
What are you doing here, Trix? I thought you ran off. Not cool of you, by the way.
Hey, I'm really sorry.
It's okay, Trix.
To make up for it, I'll work on being more brave, like you, Bronzo.
Sounds like a plan. So you know where to go, right?
You know it. So, if you want to go to the ice forest, that means dealing with the ice giants. And trust me, when I say we want to sneak our way through, I mean it.
What happens if they notice us?
Then we run, Bronzo. We run for the hills and we don't look back.
Well, that doesn't sound like a good plan.
Don't you worry. You're in good paws. Believe it or not, I used to be the best thief in the lands around here.
Okay, Trix, I trust you on this one. We ran until we reached the edge of the ice giant's homeland. From there, I mimicked all of Trix's movements. And boy, she was good at this. As we got deeper into the forest, an ice giant passed right by us. Each step he took made the ground tremble. Ugh, wow, that was close. And now what?
Now follow me.
We were carefully sneaking past the giants on days 66 through 70. There were a few close calls, but luckily, we went undetected. The giants only had one eye, so they couldn't see very well. However, they had great hearing as a result, so we had to be as quiet as possible to avoid getting caught.
Just a little bit farther.
Suddenly, a strange-looking snowflake appeared, and then started talking.
Hi! I haven't seen new people here for so long.
What the? Shh! You're gonna blow our cover!
Yeah, now scram!
Scram! How rude! Here I was so excited about meeting new people. I mean, still, honestly, I am. But to be so mean.
Shh!
He shushed me! You, good sir, are a menace! Can we still be friends, though? You look really cool.
The ice giants started to notice the commotion and were looking right at us. Look what you've done! We have to run or fight.
I won't run! I'll fight by your side like the night you made me!
Before we could talk more, the ice giants started moving into attack. Trix remained by my side, and we used what we could to fight back.
No! Why all the violence? It's stressing me out, man.
The ice giants were focused on us, so I did what I could and tried to freeze them. However, they could launch us into the sky. I never thought I'd have to land in trees to avoid fall damage. We were fighting our best, but we just couldn't wear them down. They were giant rocks of ice.
We can't win! They're too strong!
There's no chance now. We need to run. Trix and I darted out and away from the ice giants, doing what we could to avoid getting hit. The snowflake popped out of hiding and followed us.
You guys were gonna leave me? Some friends you are. We're still friends, right?
We all made our escape during days 71 through 74. Snowflake, why did you do that? You almost got us killed.
Now we'll never get to the ice core.
Ice core? That sounds familiar.
Familiar how?
Familiar as in, I know it's not with the snow giants. Well, I can't remember where it is now.
What do you mean you can't remember? Try harder.
Okay, let me see. Oh, I know. It was taken by the Cow Clan.
Cows?
Wait, no, that's not it. It was taken by the Endermen. Wait, no.
Okay, that's enough. We have to find it, but I'm tired. Let's go home.
Hey, can I go with you?
I thought about it for a moment. After all, the snowflake was the reason we almost died back there. But I couldn't let him be all alone. Fine. But you won't have a proper room to sleep in.
Well, that's all right with me.
Then let's go. We arrived back at the base, and I settled in. I tried resting for a while, but I couldn't go to sleep. I suppose I can work on the statue while I'm awake. I finished making the legs and the back, while everyone else was tucked away and resting. I made sure to use the same materials as the head and body, so that the statue stayed cohesive. I was so excited when I finished, but I made sure not to wake anyone up. This is amazing! After all that building, I was so exhausted, I knocked out within minutes of laying on my bed. I slept pretty restless during that day, and on days 75 to 79, I woke up to polar bears outside my base.
Prince Bronzo, when we saw this structure, we simply knew you had to be living here.
It's so wonderful to see that you're doing well. Us, on the other hand, Well, the polar city was destroyed by firebugs.
My house is gone.
I'm so sorry, guys. How about you stay here? I can make space for all of you.
If you insist, then we'll gladly accept.
Using my awesome building abilities, I gathered the materials I had left over from making my ice sculpture and started making homes for the polar bears. I knew nothing I made would feel the same as their home, but I did my very best to mimic what I remembered of Polar City. Soon enough, I had a pretty good collection of homes for the polar bears. Pip even started running around checking them out.
Wow, I love it!
Yes, this is simply exquisite. Oh my, what are you doing here? And what is wrong with you?
What do you mean by that, Polar King?
This is the missing ice core, but he doesn't look quite right.
Oh, shiver me timbers. You made me remember. I am the ice core. I probably look weird because I had a small little piece of me stolen by that fire hornet. She was big and fiery. And a hornet, yes.
Scorch! Oh no, that's not good. If she has it, then she probably destroyed it.
No, that would be impossible. The ice core is simply too powerful. It is most definitely still intact. That fire hornet, Scorch, is very likely just keeping it somewhere safe.
If that's the case, then there's only one thing we can do about it. We've got to get it back.
Lucky for you, I know just how to pull that off. Another stealth mission.
Trix the Snowflake and myself made our way to the Firelands during days 80 to 84. Along the way, we ran into some firebug soldiers.
That's him. Get him!
We had no option but to fight the fiery foes. I used my ice crystal to blow a frozen sheet of wind over the critters, and my ice bombs for a larger scaled attack. Trix maneuvered quickly around the bugs and attacked when she had the chance. How do you like the cold? Eventually, Trix and I defeated the firebug soldiers and left no witnesses. We traveled some more and made it to the fire temple. As I approached, I saw Scorch leaving. Where is she going? Shoot, we better hide. She's coming this way. As we hid, Scorch flew right past us without noticing. Now's our chance. We snuck in sneakily and took out a few guards so as to not bring attention to ourselves. Nighty-night. Soon enough, I was able to locate where the missing piece was. Wow, this room is huge. There's the missing ice core. Trix.
I'm on it.
As Trix went forward to grab the ice artifact, it melted in an instant.
You really fell for that one, ice spider. Say hi to Mommy. She's going on my honey trap.
I can't escape. Help me, son.
Mom! Give her back, you foul insect! I thought I had won, but this was just another one of Scorch's traps. On days 85 to 89, I was contemplating what to do. I wanted to save my mother, but I couldn't do that with Scorch here.
You look surprised. Well, I have another surprise for you.
I finally noticed the real missing ice piece floating beside Scorch.
Ta-da! But which is more important? The missing piece or your dear mother?
That's enough! I was about to rush in to start fighting her, but she knocked me backwards before placing a lever down nearby.
Nah, you aren't very observant, are you? Why not look up before you decide to rush things?
I looked cautiously and realized my mother was standing right below a bunch of anvils ready to drop. Please, why are you doing this? Couldn't we work something out for everyone?
You don't get it. The only thing I want worked out is for you to die.
Suddenly, Trix jumped in from behind her and grabbed the ice piece before darting over to where the snowflake was waiting.
Ooh, did you find the icy thing?
You're the icy thing. Use it. No, I gotta run in case more guards come so I can stop them. Good luck.
With that, he absorbed the piece and transformed.
No! This isn't supposed to happen!
Scorch's anger caused her to momentarily forget about my mom, and I was able to break the lever she placed.
Ronzo, quick! I need you to absorb my power.
What? Why? I can't do that.
You have to. This is what I was made for. I know it now. It's the only way to save your mother and defeat Scorch.
Okay. Thank you.
Ben. My real name is Ben.
Thank you, Ben. You're a hero. I did as instructed, and I absorbed his power. His sacrifice gave me a new ability. I was now able to shoot ice spikes. I wasted no time and used it against Scorch.
You'll pay for that.
I continued to send ice flying in her direction as she did her best to burn me every time she could get closer to the ground. She punched me with flames a few times, but couldn't avoid my new attacks when she did.
Enough!
She stopped trying to fight and flew higher to dodge me completely.
Choice but to give you another surprise. Beast Bug, attack!
A big firebug monster stormed into the room, and Scorch flew away before I could stop her. No! Ugh! Fine, I'll squish this insect first. I turned back to the monster bug, and it immediately attacked. It hit me with more fire and did an area attack. I couldn't dodge it, so I used my new spikes to retaliate. What's the matter? Don't like a little frostbite? With my stronger skills, it had no hope against me. I hit the beast with another wave of spikes, and it finally died. With the monster defeated, I ran to release my mother from the trap.
Thank you